why would God be asking Abraham a question which he supposedly is already supposed to know the answer to that question, Mr. Carlton? Can you please answer me?
See, this kind of question is right. In fact, I think the best out of the kind of questions you want to ask is to ask me that if God knows there is heaven and hell, why did he create man? Because obviously we should know where we will go. You know, the concept of LGBTQ or Sodom and Gomorrah, right, is one of the least questions, or one of the least stories you will use to question the omniscience of God. You see, in as much as God is all-knowing, he gave man something called a will. So you have a will to do whatever you want to do. So if we are going back to the reference of the Bible, when it said that he had regretted for creating man, it was because man had introduced a different system of reproduction where angels were sleeping with men, which was not the original intention of God, which was not the original intent. You understand? So the main reason why God wanted to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah was because a different civilization had started in the name of something that he has not co-signed. So in the same way how he destroyed the earth with water, which he promised Noah he wasn't going to do again, in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, where he could have also destroyed the world with water because they were almost starting an organization that was similar to that which happened in the time of Noah. He decided to destroy it with fire. It does not change anything about God. What the people choose to do is up to them. When you are talking about asking Abraham, negotiating with Abraham, when he said he wanted 50 people, eventually it came to 10. God will always look for people when he is trying to cause a certain distraction. So in the days of Noah, when the ark was being built, the ark was supposed to protect people from the incoming flood. Now the people that were in the ark, which was Noah and his wife, his three sons, that is Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and their wives, making 8, where 8 means a new beginning. You see, in that era, or in that dispensation, what God was trying to do is that he found 8 people who hadn't contaminated themselves with the fallen angels, who are also called the Nephilims. They were not in the family of Noah. They hadn't contaminated themselves yet. So he saw the need that if I capture these people in an ark, I can actually start a new earth with them, because according to my civilization, they haven't broken the law. But in the Sodom and Gomorrah, where a different civilization had started in terms of introducing a different sexual way which wasn't approved by God, God was finding a way to destroy that whole thing. He will bring it down. You understand?
Pause for a second. And what does the word omniscience mean? What is somebody's omniscience? What do you think it means?
All-knowing.
Yes, all-knowing and knowing into the future as well. Do you agree?
All-knowing is all-knowing. In fact, the original meaning of omniscience, it is an all-seeing God.
So omniscience means all-knowing. So you know the past, you know the present, and then you know the future.
I just told you the real meaning. In fact, this is one of the bases for Illuminati. When we say pardon?
Like, I'm just asking that the meaning of omniscience is all-knowing, means you know.
And I'm telling you that the all-seeing eye, that is why it's called Alpha and Omega, beginning and the end. So future alone even limits him. In fact, he knows the past. In fact, he knows before time.
Okay, so he knew into the future that the people of Sodom and Gomorrah that he had created would end up engaging in homosexual activity.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, that it is one of the least. Wait, I'll help you. Wait, it is. No, are you trying? Wait, I don't understand your question. That's because he knew that they were going to end up doing that. Then why did he create them? Right.
And if he's supposed to be all-knowing, isn't he supposed to prevent that from happening even before it happens?
Listen, that's what I'm telling you, that this is one of the least concepts you can use to debunk whether God is omniscient or not. And I'm telling you that, in fact, one of the brightest questions I will be expecting from you is that if God really knows everything, that means that he created some people to go to hell, because if eventually we are living our lives and we have two places to go, or there are two places made up for people, which is heaven and hell. That means if God is all-knowing, then he should know the people that will make it to heaven and the people that will make it to hell. And me saying that is to tell you that, wait, he gave man will to live their own life. He gave them the power of choice.
Okay, so can I ask you a question? You said that's free will, correct?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But there is at least one instance in the Bible, or two instances in the Bible, where he took away the free will of people. And if you permit me, I'll tell you those two examples.
So you can bring it, but you see, okay, fine, you just bring it.
Yes. So are you on the side of you have free will, or you are on the side that man doesn't have free will, or you are on the side that we have free will, but sometimes God takes away our free will? Which side are you on first?
Okay, so let me help you. You see, one thing about this Christianity thing is that in as much as God has given you his free will, if you are really his son, your will is his will. I don't know if I'm making sense. In as much as he has given you the free will to do whatever, if you are truly his son, you shall do his will. It's just like your father has given you a room in his house, right? In fact, you have the right to do whatever he wants to do in the room. But if you really respect your father, in fact, you must even respect your father. You are still under his roof. So there are some things, there are some laws that you will obey, even though you have your own room. And when you are bathing, nobody can barge in. I don't know if you get it.
Okay, so on which side are you? Because I gave you three options, maybe the other option, but I'm just asking.
Before I select a side, right, I must really know how you think, because trust me, that's what I'm telling you, that I've given you something that is showing you that God has given us a free will, right? Wait. I've given you something that's telling you that God has given us a free will. So just ask the question. You don't have to know which side I'm on. Just ask the question.
Initially, when you were trying to explain the Sodom and Gomorrah story to me right now, you introduced the concept of God has given us free will. That was your statement, wasn't that? I told you that there are instances in the Bible where that free will that you are talking about.
Yeah, so let's move past it. Bring the instances and let's dissect it.
Before I can bring the instances, I want to know your position on that. Is it that God has not given us free will, or God has given us free will?
We're having a conversation. Don't try to box me into what I am and what I think. Just ask the question. You understand? Yes, I admit that I have said that God has given us a free will.
Okay, all right.
Just go on with your instance. Don't box me.
Two or more instances where God took away the free will of man. Number one is with regards to the 10 plagues of Egypt. If you read the Bible account carefully, after the fifth plague, after there was a fifth, after the fifth plague, after the fifth plague, okay, man's Pharaoh's will was taken from him. If you read the Bible account carefully, it says there that and God hardened Pharaoh's heart so he would not let the Israelites go. Okay, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plagues was Pharaoh not allowing the Israelites to go of his own will, but the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th plague were all God himself hardening Pharaoh's heart so that Pharaoh would not let the people of Israel go. Means that God took Pharaoh's free will of his choice of not allowing the Israelites to go or not, and then decided then to punish Pharaoh after taking Pharaoh's free will. Like, you get the point I'm trying to make, right?
Yeah, so proceed. Yeah, I get it. I'm following.
Yeah, so that was the first account of God taking away man's free will. The second account, which I recall, is after King David slept with Uriah's wife. Okay, the God you worship said or prescribed for King David And that's one of the weirdest punishments I've ever read in my life. I mean, when I read that part of the Bible, I was just wondering that, is this the loving God that we all, or I listened to, or I was told about when I was in Sunday school? It said that God told King David that his punishment was that people were going to rape his wives, right? People were going to rape King David's wives. Punishment for King David sleeping with Uriah's wife and getting Uriah killed in battle. So the question here is simple. If people are to rape King David's wives, okay, are they raping King David's wives based on their own free will, or God is commanding them or
manipulating them to
do that?
Yeah.
To do that to King David's wives. The second question here too is this. It says in the 10 Commandments that thou shalt not commit adultery. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So God allowing people or allowing strange people to sleep with King David's wives in public goes against that commandment, because adultery means that a married person is having sex out of wedlock.
Mm-hmm.
Those men who are going to be sleeping with King David's wives are not married to them.
Right.
So that means the woman's free will of having the choice of not committing adultery is being taken away from them. If Mr. Kanti, you follow what I'm trying to say? Like,
would they follow? Yeah, would they follow?
You get me?
Yeah.
So that's another instance of the human free will being taken away from him. And I think the third one I can recall right now is during the time Judas was about to betray Jesus. I mean, the disciples or nobody knew who was going to betray Jesus. Okay, Jesus Christ just said that whoever dips the bread with me at the same time, I mean, anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, that person is the one going to betray me. So it was meant to say that if any other of the disciples apart from Judas had done that at that exact moment or when it happened, it could have been any of the disciples who would have betrayed him. And then the Bible then says that after the person or that disciple dipped the bread with him, the devil was filled with him. Like the devil entered into him, and then he went out there to go and betray Jesus. Okay, so that means that then for the prophecy to have been fulfilled, one of the disciples would have been used as a vessel to get that thing done. And mind you, these are very, very close people of the person, or these are very close disciples of Jesus Christ. They were the people that ate with him, went with him on ministry, watched him perform his miracles. These are people that loved him. So getting one of them to do such an act or commit such an act, it would have taken some sort of extra something to have gotten it done. So that's another example of the free will being taken away. So when you say that God has given us free will, I've given you like 3 examples of when man's free will was taken away from him. Do you have anything to say about that? I'm listening.
I did. Yeah, so, let's start from the bottom, right, to the first question you asked. So, first of all,
let's start. Yeah, we had, you know, it's small.
Baby, they need to talk. Need the way you talk, it's just
it's small. From the bottom, we will talk about Sodom and Gomorrah vibes here. If you ever had, I beg you. Hey, Charlie, let's start from the bottom.
I just will start from there, bro. Okay, so I respect your questions, you understand. But you see, that's why I told you that it will be difficult for me to box myself. That's why I told you. In as much as I believe that God gave us a free will, we can choose to do whatever we want. But in his kingdom, right, there are always exceptions. He deals with people differently, and there are reasons to that. Now, let's look at the David story that you brought. So, I cannot really remember the prophecy from Nathan. You know, Nathan was a prophet that was sent to David after he had committed adultery with Bathsheba. So, I cannot remember verbatim what the prophecy was, but it was not that people were going to rape his wife. It was only that one of his descendants will marry or will be in bed with his wife. And we saw that, I think, in Absalom or Adonijah. I'm not too... Their names are a bit confusing, but it's either one is one of these two, you know. And
Charlie, but you don't say don't G himself he be gangster. Because somebody violate you, they make you not say, oh, my boy be do you in what? So we wage him.
And you see that one said, the funny thing will happen, you see, as God, after the adultery thing where God send Nathan go in there, the prophet go in there to go tell him whatever. As he reach there, the prophet don't tell him anything. The prophet talk some story, some different story where they match up with what David do. Mm-hmm. When David now bring the judgment on himself, say, oh, if that be what that person do there, then so and so for happen to him. After that, so for happen to him. After David talk finish, when now the prophet Nathan they tell him, say, okay, so the story he tell him, no, it be about David himself. So whatever David has pronounced, it be so it will happen to him.
Okay, so it no be Don Jesus we thought that thing.
Not at all.
Senny, you see, I told you this guy is the Bible soldier. You understand? On the Bible, we Bible, no. You understand? Bible professor.
So you think that be the drift.
Forget
so the drift is that the drift is that the prophecy from Nathan was actually a judgment that was pronounced by David himself.
Upon himself. What I say?
Exactly.
Long. The
mind games. Go tell him, say, there lived the man. The man took somebody's wife. He puts his husband in front of the wall. So that blah, blah, blah. Assuming, paraphrasing. Not just that this is what Nathan actually said.
Right.
But after all that, then David says, hey, then that guy must be very bad.
Yeah.
So and so for doing.
They for fucking wife. No way they fucking
wife. After Nathan tell him, say, it be you, David, that they talk about. Where David go apologize, then start to plead for mercy.
I'm actually going to read verses but you guys go on. I want to read the verses, but you just go on. Let me just.
So yeah, you can read it together. So what brought mercy upon David? What brought mercy upon? In fact, the actual punishment for that particular sin was that God wanted a temple to be built. So because of that, God didn't want David to build it. He then gave it to his son Solomon. And in fact, even that one, David insisted that he would provide the materials for the temple to be built, so that was the real punishment of what that act, the act of adultery that he did, and you see, Solomon was more of a compensation as a result of him repenting and also pleading for mercy. So in as much as he pronounced upon himself that one of his descendants were going to do so and so, God in his own wisdom, after David seeking for mercy, also provided another son that shall really be the ruler and the king. And in that one, in him shall he build his temple. You understand? So God always makes a provision. Trust me, he will always make a provision. It's just like he has created Adam. Now Adam go do some yawa. He made a provision for Jesus to come. So in the Bible, Jesus is called the second Adam. So whatever God they do, he always get back up. You know, go feel how smart your creator. It's impossible. It is impossible.
So hold on. So David in Sambi Solomon.
Yeah, David in Sambi Solomon.
King Solomon, the wise guy, no?
Yeah, that's David's son.
The girl is the one where you have plenty wife, no?
700 wives, 300 concubines.
That means say that lineage, on paper power, because David go fuck somebody in wife, we in son to marry.
We can clearly say that. It paid the blood. Yeah. We can clearly say that.
But hold on. Let me say, Jaja side promotes a deal, because that be in favorite niggas, so David and Solomon. That be in people, and full vagina niggas.
The niggas we God use, or then they marry two.
You see.
Yeah. So if God then be different guy, he go fit talk say. Then they born Jacob and Esau. He say, Esau have I Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. He not go explain himself for the Bible inside. By so the Bible they write. 2 kids they born them. God say they like one pass one. They not even born them. But no, he said the one he like, he gets some mind for him. Jacob then became Israel. Then he get the 12 tribes of Israel.
So but Solomon, what he do where he vex God? He creates some bosom, man. He be bosom where he do where he vex God. No?
So Solomon did necromancy. He visited a necromancer who called back the spirit of Saul. No, sorry, the spirit of Samuel, the prophet.
Okay.
We anger God.
Okay. So
'Cause
in
one of the
creative wives
first things
there, that
God
one no
did,
vex God. That one do God do the watch safe.
He chose to do it. You understand? He chose to do it.
But that one
And
never
Jacob,
bring any matter
as a-
between you and God.
There was no point where it was referenced. You did, but as you see, people they try bring some polygamy conversation where they try bring Solomon in. But you see, what I have to say about that matter is that in theology or in the study of these things, there's something called the law of first mention, right? So when we talk about the law of first mention, we are looking at how when the Bible first made mention of such a thing and how it was treated. You understand?
Mhm.
So the people where they look at Solomon, they talk see Abraham. Solomon said if you marry so and so. They could be right in the sense that it was very polygamous. But when you are looking at the law of first mention in terms of the concept of marriage or man and a woman, it has always been one man, one wife. Eve for Adam. Continue. If you look at the people we God used, Moses had one wife. Eventually, other people came in though. But when we talk about the wife, so Jacob, like they said, Jacob married two people. But when it came to the people that God wanted to use as a result of the nation of Israel, I mean the 12 tribes of Israel, when God wanted to use certain people in terms of the kinship, he took the sons of the first wife. So when we talk about the law of first mention, when we're looking at in as much as Jacob married two people, the inheritance were for the people of the first wife. So God always respects, even if not one, the first. But when we are looking at the law of first mention, Adam for Eve, it settles it. This can't see, as you say, you raise your hand, you go fit talk.
Oh, okay. Mr. Granted, then I won't help you small on something. Talking about Solomon, right? The wives and things where he marry. Make I put them this way. So fire, let's take them say, are they here? Maybe I'll be some Ewe chief where are they one side. But then with the fight with the Ashantis, the guns, and crazy with the fight. My forefathers, their time and things before me, I come chop. But as I come, I don't want that fight again. I want make we stop them. So now I use my head. I start marry Asante Hene in daughter.
Okay.
Garment in daughter.
Okay.
Here in daughter. This person in daughter. So before Asante Hene go talk, say make we fight. They think about them. Say, my daughter did there.
Yeah.
That be Solomon.
So Solomon
you get them from.
So basically Solomon taking dick settle war.
It settle more things. You understand?
Solomon is a dick wise nigga.
He just no marry anybody. No be say he see somebody they bar for no way he carry. No. It no be some nobody's way he carry. So
people their daughters, kings their daughters.
Better people. Where you know go feel rage on we again. So now peace and things day because your family day with me. Now they become one family.
Right.
You they get them.
Right.
As, be like them say as Nanado come, be like Rollins in son or daughter, or somebody married from Nanado in family like that. Rollins in family married from Nanado in family. You see, peace. Peace come. Even though 1 or 2 days, but then no matter what, my family day or family side, now they become one family in a way.
For real.
Did they get them?
Yeah.
All right. Then the other thing, Mr. Cranton, what need to talk about David in punishment and things, you know? One, it no be David will bring the judgment upon himself. David, as Nathan come, he come tell him some parable, let's say, give him some story. Somebody do so and so and so. In relation, like the thing be similar to what David did. So David,
so the memory verse here, it's 2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 1 to like I think 13 or so, right?
Yeah.
So I want so that we don't take anything out of context with the points you guys are trying to make. It says
I
here,
don't even make them finish.
Go to the scripture again, okay?
2 Samuel chapter 12 from
verse
1. Yeah. So make I finish. So your man come narrate some story to David. That story, no, it is sound like David in story, but David in mind no go there. Where David they talk say, the person will do this thing, for that, because he knows shy as they do. we it talk certain things. You but if it be David will bring the judgment upon himself, like Nathan go end down for that.
Okay.
Like Nathan go end down for that. Say then what you talk, no, it be you are the talk about. So whatever you talk, it be in way for happening to you.
Okay.
But Nathan no end for that. Nathan tell him say, this be what the Lord says. That means say, as Nathan they come, no, they carry message from the Lord already.
Okay.
Do you understand me? It say the Lord says that be when it start give him say so and so. The story be you are the talk about and so and so. One, the punishment will happen. It not God no talk say or Nathan no talk say God say then go rape David in wife.
Right.
No. If you read the Bible, you don't even talk wife or you talk wives. Maybe your man go read them later. It say go make somebody close to sleep with his wives.
Right.
That be what he talk. Secondly, another punishment. Mr. Quarantine talk about now, if I build some temple for God, God say because of what you do, you not go build them again. Wait, that thing, it be serious thing for them to build temple for God. Just like when a man self won't build some cathedral for God, it be serious thing. To do one for God, it be serious thing. So for God to say, I'm not gonna make you do one there, they make your man they feel some way. Say no, I beg you, if you don't go make her do say make her buy cement. Make the next person where they come do them. That be another punishment. There was another punishment where you people they try forget. You see as David sleep with Uriah in wife, right? The woman preg, he born. He can't born. The kiddy where he born, no, the punishment be say God say he go kill him.
But David, you fucking guy, you eat somebody's wife.
So wait, you see, you omit something for that size small. So what Nathan go do for them? See, after David had pronounced death upon himself, he then said what the Lord had commanded him to come and see.
Yeah.
Right? Where he made mention of the fact that the person close to him, he will lie with your wife in broad daylight. Perfect. You did it in secret, but I would do it in a broad daylight before all Israel. Then then David said to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. Then see what Nathan replied. He said, Nathan replied, the Lord has taken away your sin. So you see, then there at David accept in sin.
We forgive him.
Okay. You forgive him for that. No, he said, you are not going to die. He said, you are not going to die. He said, but because by doing this, you have made the enemies of the Lord show utter contempt. The son born to you will die. So then it goes on to say that, so the Kidiwe, the Bathsheba born out of that thing, he died. He can't die.
He can't die. Yeah.
You understand? On the seventh day after that prophecy.
After that prophecy.
You understand? But you see, in extension of that punishment, God made it so clear that somebody close to David himself to come sleep with David in wife.
Yeah.
Then after that too, the real punishment for David himself, as he just said, that building a temple for God is actually something that means a lot to him.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was the real punishment upon David, that because you have done so and so and so and so, in fact, I won't do it. I won't let you build a temple for me. Instead, I'll make your son Solomon do it for me. Then in fact, David had to plead with the Lord. And it was impossible for him to do it. So he provided materials for the building or the temple to be built. You understand? So as at now, this is one of the reasons why David be the most prosperous king of Israel. If wherever you go, they see the star, they have a star sign of David. You understand? Yeah. And it means a lot to the Jewish people or to people of Israel. You understand? So David, even though he get a lot of flaws, trust me, impact for the Bible cannot be taken away in terms of his relationship with God and how God do some things with him. You understand? So even Jesus Christ is called the Son of David. You understand? And it is just to show that Jesus Christ was coming out of that lineage. So because Jesus Christ was coming out of that lineage, trust me, there were certain things that were done with some exceptions.
Right.
You understand?
Okay. Can I come in now?
Yes.
Like you guys have taken us on a secular mental gymnastics, but let me read the verse. So 2 Samuel 4, verse 1. I'm reading from the NIV, and I would also take It's also from the King James, so that we get it. It says, verse 1 says here that the Lord sent Nathan to David. When he came to him, he said, there were two men in a certain town, one rich and the other poor. Verse 2, the rich man had a very large number of sheep and cattle. Verse 3, but the poor man had nothing